I'm trying to go for this one. I might have to be bad. Guys, yeah. Okay, I don't know what's and now that was hard. Oh my god.
Veteran homeowners, this is the best time in history to turn your home equity into cash. Because home values have climbed to all-time highs, and so has your equity. Turn it into cash now while mortgage rates are at all-time lows. The new day 100 VA cash out loan, where you buy Use it to improve your home. Pay off high-risk debt. Pay for big expenses. Or put in the bank.
Oh, Jack.
Now
Oh my god.
call now.
See, I found it.
Well, a breakthrough announcement from the FDA with the agency approving the first new drug in nearly 2 decades that promises to slow down the progression of Alzheimer's. While it offers hope, some doctors are saying the FDA saying the drug produces a sticky substance in the brain that can contribute to the disease.
Fox News Alert now. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is currently holding a press briefing. She was just asked by our own Peter Doocy about the origins of COVID and the described cover-up by many current and former officials. Jen Psaki just answered that question. Let's dip in and listen here. And participate in the second stage of this investigation.
And then just quickly, how do you think President Bush, Obama, and Trump all commemorated the anniversary on D-Day, the D-Day anniversary? Why did President Bush?
Well, I can tell you that certainly his value for the role that the men who served on D-Day and the memory of them, the families who have kept their memories alive over the course of years on this day, something the president has spoke to many, many times in the past. It's close to his heart, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more we would have to say on it. Go ahead.
Jen, I know you said you don't want to read out any private conversations, but it certainly seems like the president and Senator Manchin are sending messages to one another in the public. You had the president last week expressing some frustration about the op-ed from Senator Manchin this weekend. Are these two men on the same page? Does the White House feel like it understands and knows what Senator Manchin wants out of this, particularly these infrastructure talks? And can you say how often these two have been speaking with one another on personal level?
Well, I can certainly tell you that the president and senior members of the administration are in close touch with Senator Manchin and his team about infrastructure and about a range of issues where there is an opportunity to work together moving forward.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch an ad.
It's frozen. It's a coconut. It's not solid, but also not a liquid. Frozen drinks from McDonald's. The paradox of deliciousness. It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink. Cool off with onion, strawberry, watermelon, frozen Coca-Cola, or wild cherry Fanta, and more delicious flavors.
It's great to be with you. I hope it was just oversight. I'm sure President cares about these folks. Make no mistake, it was an amazing cohort of men and Americans who fought in this place. They did remarkable work. They guaranteed our freedom at a perilous time. I tweeted about it yesterday. It was a glorious demonstration of American resolve.
about COVID, because you obviously are speaking out about this, and this was obviously an intimate part of your time as Secretary of State. Do we know enough today? Do we have enough facts on the table to hold China accountable?
While there's still and no one can be certain precisely what happened, we know enough already to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable. Let's start with this. The two theories are one that it's zoonotic with transmission from a bat, the others are leaked from the lab. The Chinese Communist Party knows the answer to that, hasn't shared it with the world. I heard a senior official say yesterday that the Chinese have an incentive to come clean about this. That's just false. If the answer is it came from a lab, they have an enormous disincentive to continue to cover up, to continue to hide, to continue to obfuscate, to use propaganda. So I think that factor well. But as to that, the fact that we know folks got sick, that they went to the hospital from the lab, that there was military activity taking place in the lab, we have an enormous amount of circumstantial evidence, certainly enough to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable for the billions of dollars that were destroyed and the millions of lives that have been lost.
I know in your most recent Washington Post opinion piece, you say that the responsibility now is on President Biden to lead a fair, effective, international response to this. You question, however, whether or not President Biden will rise to the task. We're also told that Jen Psaki was just asked about this, also by her own Peter Doocy in that briefing room. Her response was that we are not going to stand by and accept China's explanation. How do you react to that?
Well, that'd be great news. I hope that's true. We've seen no evidence of that to date. I'll give you the perfect example. Another party in the cover-up was the World Health Organization, and this administration rejoined that political body, not a scientific one, but a political one, without expecting any results, any outcomes, anything that benefited the United States of America, without spending hundreds of millions of dollars for the organization that caused this very problem. I hope Psaki's right. I hope she's serious. I hope President Biden is serious. We could have this happen again. This isn't about politics. This must be about science, and this isn't about Democrats and Republicans. This is about protecting the American people, and if we don't figure out what happened here, we'll have this kind of thing happen again.
Mr. Secretary, Jen Psaki was asked about Dr. Fauci, if she could imagine any circumstance under which President Biden would need to fire Dr. Fauci. This was her on Friday, so it seems there's
I played this game before.
Civil servant, I should say, career
I know how to play upgrades.
management of multiple global health crises and
I usually do this. I wanna live a life to the next beat.
and by changing the
There's millions of
not
stitches.
about firing Dr. Fauci, that would be by what she just said in the briefing. I'm not going to stand by and accept China's explanation. If Senator Rubio and others who have spoken out, this is a FoxNews.com piece, if Biden believes in science, he must be fired. He must fire Fauci, I should say. Do you believe that Dr. Fauci needs to go?
I'll leave that to the administration, but suffice it to say, Dr. Fauci has shown no interest in helping the American people get to the bottom of what happened and has caused so much devastation to our economy. You were talking in the last segment about the trillions of dollars of spending that we've had to do, and maybe another round of trillions of dollars of spending. That's a direct result of what the Chinese Communist Party did to the United States. And if Dr. Fauci is not serious about this and he's not going to help us solve this, then he ought not be there. He ought to take on a different role. He ought to get off the stage. Americans deserve to know the answers, and we must
Okay, I'm
hold
just
China accountable.
tapping.
Mr. Secretary, if I could, just looking back at your time leading the State Department and what we knew then, and I know you've gone on the record saying that anybody who
Go
wrote about
Speedy.
the Wuhan lab there was poo-pooed. Do you believe that you, in your leadership role there, did enough to dig into the origins and get answers?
Goodness, we worked hard at it, Sandra. We didn't get to the bottom of it, but much of what we know today came as a result of good work done by State Department officials who were working against the tide. There were others at the State Department, Sandra, this won't surprise you. Not everybody at the State Department thought Donald Trump and Mike Pompeo were on the right side of history. And we were working against a big bureaucracy at the State Department. We did good work. We added to the data.
Come on.
As you asked in the first question, do we know enough? I think we've now told the world enough to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable. Do I wish we could have gotten a definitive answer? Of course I do.
always appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra. So long.
White
Well, there's growing
shadow.
outrage after a New York-based psychiatrist tells an audience at the Yale School of Medicine that she had had fantasies of shooting white people in the head. Lecture now facing harsh backlash. Let's get to David Miller. He's got more live on this story. David Lee. Trace Dr. Aruna Kilanani made her controversial remarks about killing white people during a virtual lecture at Yale School of Medicine in April. Only after an audio recording recently surfaced on the internet did a major backlash erupt. The subject of the talk was the psychopathic problems of white people. The doctor, who describes herself as a person of color, said white people make her blood boil, and then left little to the imagination.
I was fantasies of uploading a revolver into the head of any white person that got in my way, tear into their body, and work with my bloody hands as I walked away relatively quickly. What did I do like that? Whether it was a world of favor, white people, or out of their minds they had been for long.
Now, following the uproar, the school released a statement saying, and I quote, School of Medicine leaders reviewed a recording of the talks and found the tone and contents antithetical to the values of the school, citing great concern about what it called extreme hostility, imagery of violence, and profanity expressed. Yale said it would only make the lecture available to those who could have attended the talk. Dr. Kilanani posted a TikTok video then accusing the school of trying to make the video all it disappeared.
You go to the Yale Trade Center, you'll see that there is a talk release, and you know what
It's frozen. Yet it's a coke. It's not solid, but also not a liquid. Frozen drinks from McDonald's. They're a paradox of deliciousness.
Now, most recently, the doctor
It's
says
more
that
than
the
a
remarks of the lecture were
It's a
taken out of
McDonald's
context.
drink. Cool off with our new strawberry watermelon Minute Maid slushy, frozen Coca-Cola, or wild cherry Fanta. Delicious wonders and they
It
done.
was raised to the school's theme. The lecture took place as scheduled. Trace. And Yale had to review it to find it antithetical to their morals. David Lee Miller, live for us in New York. David Lee, thank you.
Okay, Trace, to the growing threat of cyber attacks, what is the best way for the U.S. to respond? We'll speak with former Assistant FBI Director Chris Flecker, who's joined us live coming up. Plus this.
I think it's a wrong piece of legislation to bring our country together and unite our country, and I'm not supporting that because I think it would divide us further.
And Democratic Senator Joe Manchin pushing back against the voting rights bill. Our panel will join us with what this means for Democrats trying to pass the bill.
When we get
Are you a
to
veteran, own a home, and need cash for your family? You should know about the new
tonight,
VA cash out
I
loan.
want to laughing. I mean, right now,
You can
this
take
is
out
stuff.
$50,000 or more.
This is so good.